Speedy, I'm home. Did you miss me?
Jack loved his little turtle, Speedy. They had been best friends ever since Jack got him as a birthday present. Speedy had a small tank in Jack's room, right next to his bed. Jack loved to watch Speedy swim before he went to sleep. Every day, Jack fed Speedy turtle food. He made sure to give him the best food so Speedy would stay healthy and happy. Speedy liked to swim around and hide under the rocks. It was his favorite game, and Jack loved to watch him play. One day, Jack came home from school, excited to see his little friend. He had a new story to tell Speedy about his day. He wanted to say hello to Speedy and share his adventures, but something was wrong.
But Speedy was not in his tank. Where could he be? Jack exclaimed, his heart racing.
Jack looked all around the room. He checked under the bed, behind the curtains, and even in his toy box. Where could Speedy be? Then Jack saw it. The window was open. Speedy must have crawled out. Jack felt a mix of worry and determination.
Don't worry, Speedy, I will find you. Just hold on, Jack shouted, his voice echoing through the trees.
Jack knew that Speedy liked to go to the big forest behind his house. It was their special place, full of adventures and secrets. Jack grabbed his magnifying glass and set off on an adventure. He was determined to find Speedy and bring him back home safely. The forest was big and scary. It stretched as far as the eye could see, with shadows dancing between the trees. Tall trees towered above Jack, their branches intertwining to form a canopy that blocked out the sun. The leaves rustled in the wind, creating a symphony of whispers that filled the air. Jack was a little scared, but he had to be brave. His heart pounded in his chest, but he knew he couldn't turn back now. He needed to find Speedy. His best friend, the little turtle, was lost somewhere in this vast forest. Jack used his magnifying glass to look for clues. He examined every leaf and twig, hoping to find a sign. He saw tiny turtle footprints in the dirt. They were faint, but they gave him hope.
Speedy went this way, Jack exclaimed, pointing towards a dense thicket.
Jack said excitedly. His determination grew stronger with each step. He followed the footprints deeper into the forest. The path was winding and tricky, but Jack was undeterred. The forest was full of amazing things. Jack marveled at the beauty around him. Jack saw colorful mushrooms growing on the ground. They looked like tiny umbrellas, each one a different shade. He saw a family of deer walking quietly through the trees. They moved gracefully, almost as if they were floating, but he still couldn't find Speedy. Jack's eyes scanned the forest, determined not to miss a single detail. Jack walked and walked. He was starting to get tired. Just then he saw a little squirrel sitting on a branch. The squirrel was eating a nut.
Excuse me, Mr. Squirrel, have you seen my turtle? He's little and green and he's lost.
The squirrel stopped eating and looked at Jack.
A talking turtle? That's silly. Turtles can't talk.
Jack giggled.
No, not a talking turtle, a regular turtle. Have you seen him?
I think I saw a turtle crawling towards the river. Follow me.
The squirrel led Jack through the trees. Soon they came to a rushing river. The water moved so fast. Jack was sad. How could he get across?
Look, a bridge!
He pointed with his little paw. Jack looked closely. There, lying across the river, was a fallen log.
Wow, a log bridge. Do you think I can cross it?
Sure, just be careful not to fall in.
Jack carefully walked across the log bridge. It was wobbly, but he made it. He thanked the squirrel and continued on his adventure. Jack followed the riverbank looking for Speedy. The sun was starting to set. Jack knew he needed to find Speedy soon. Just then, Jack saw something amazing. There, sitting on a rock by the water, was Speedy.
Speedy, I found you.
Speedy saw Jack and crawled towards him. Jack was so happy to see Speedy. He picked up his little turtle and gave him a big hug.
Speedy, you scared me. Don't you ever run away again.
Speedy blinked his eyes slowly. He seemed to smile at Jack. It was getting dark. The forest was bathed in the soft golden hues of the setting sun, casting long shadows that danced with the rustling leaves. Jack knew he needed to get home. The path seemed longer and more winding than he remembered, but he was determined. He held Speedy tightly in his arms and started walking back through the forest. Each step was careful and deliberate as he navigated the familiar yet eerie terrain. On the way home, Jack saw the squirrel again. It was the same squirrel that had helped him earlier, and it seemed to be waiting for him.
Mr. Squirrel, thank you for helping me find Speedy. I don't know what I would have done without you.
The squirrel smiled, its tiny eyes twinkling with a sense of accomplishment.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. You were very brave to go into the forest alone. Not many would have the courage to do what you did.
Jack and Speedy finally made it back home. The familiar sight of his house brought a wave of relief over him. Jack was tired but happy. The adventure had been exhausting, but it was worth it. He put Speedy back in his tank and gave him lots of yummy turtle food. Speedy seemed just as relieved to be home, eagerly munching on his meal. Jack knew he would never let Speedy out of his sight again. This adventure had taught him the importance of keeping his beloved pet safe.